So what is the extreme side if you do not take care of your mental health? When we talk about mental health severity, there's different stages to mental health, right? First, you feel the anxiety, then you feel that you cannot breathe, and then you feel that it takes a control over your body, and then the process just repeats on over and over and over and over again. Some people, they aren't able to actually control how they feel and that state of motion that they're in. So the next step would be to seek professional help. Some people go to rehab, some people turn to antidepressants, some people look for psychologists, psychiatrists, and psychiatrists and psychologists do prescribe
Oh.
antidepressants. Now, some people, they take matters into their own hands. They start abusing substances. That's when they start abusing drugs, they start abusing alcohol, and they
themselves.
just lock themselves in that world because it's an escape. It's an escape route for them.
That's true.
So what all these things does is that it doesn't help you to overcome your anxiety or your depression, but rather it provokes them by creating hallucinations that makes you or your condition even worse, right? And normally, if these drugs or substances are not prescribed by professional psychologists or psychiatrists, what happens is that people tend to overdose on them and people tend to abuse them, and they don't watch over the dosage that they take every day. So, for example, if today I take 5 milligrams, oh, it makes me feel better. I don't feel depressed anymore. I don't feel anxious anymore. So I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna take 10.
To 10.
And the next day, oh, I'm
I
gonna
feel
take
much
more.
better.
15, 20, because yeah, like the saying goes, more is better, right? But in this case, more is not better because you are not only abusing these hallucinogens, but you are also at one point increasing your tolerance towards these substances.
Addicted.
Yes.
Yes, hence you get addicted. You get addicted to this 5 minutes
Because
high to escape your depression.
so yeah, I agree that with Coach Kamal, because I think my opinion that the only reason they're actually getting addicted towards this antidepressant and the pills they take to make them feel better is because they think that these pills are actually helping them. They basically are set with the mentality that if I take this pill, at least I'm gonna be fine or I'll feel something, right? So they're in that world of illusion, saying that okay, with this one pill, I'm in my own world, or this world is better for me. So they start taking a lot. Then, as what Coach said, overuse, overdose, then things like that. Without it, it might lead to suicide and things like that. Extreme lah, extreme level.
Yeah, exactly. Because like it always starts off with something simple, right? Human beings, we are always looking for that natural high. We're always looking for that safe moment where we can feel alive. We always want to feel alive. That's why people like to go bungee jumping. That's why people take extreme sports. That's why people do a lot of things that makes them feel alive. They chase that natural high to escape those moments where they feel afraid. And once they've hit that target, they start asking themselves, what can I do more? Okay, I've jumped off an airplane. What can I do more? Okay, I want to jump off a building. What can I do more? So we constantly chase this natural high so that we can create an illusion among ourselves that yes, I can do this. Similar goes to anxiety, similar goes to depression. And let's take a look at smoking, for example. Why do people smoke? People start smoking for various reasons, but the top ones are friends, stress, too much pressure. These are the top three, right? And influenced by other people or social. So they start off with one stick. Ooh, it feels good. Then two sticks, three sticks. By the end of the month, you're down by like one box.
36.
Yes, one
Mm-mm.
box a week, and
Mm.
that's how you you build your tolerance for nicotine.
Because it becomes their
And
routine, right?
it becomes their routine. And some people, and this is a research, and you guys can actually look at it on Google. Heavy smokers say they don't feel any effect anymore when they are smoking after the first cigarette in the morning, which means
Whew.
that, yes, the first cigarette, that's the one that gives them that sensation. That's the one that gives them the high. After that, when they continuously chain smoke, it doesn't give them anything anymore. They don't feel anything. However, what they do feel is that when they do smoke, they feel it's a sense of escape. So, which is why before you normally see people before eating, they smoke. After eating, they smoke. Before doing anything, they smoke. While waiting for something, they smoke, right? Because it's a habit. It becomes a habit really. And you start craving for it, and you start to like, if I don't smoke, then I can't function. But research do show that the first stick itself, after that, do not give them any sensation anymore. So if you continuously abuse drugs, alcohol, you will build that tolerance. And by the end of the day, your tolerance will go so strong that you won't feel anything anymore. And that will be very harmful towards your body. And you are willingly opening your body up to all these diseases, right? Um, so if you are having anxiety and you are having depression, the first thing that you need to do is do not look for these substances. Do not get influenced by social media. I've seen and I've handled a lot of students in my training where they openly tell, when it's sharing session, they openly tell me that, coach, how do I stop myself from cutting myself, harming myself, self-harm? Okay. And most of the time, it's due to pressure. Most of the time, it's due to tension. And some of the time, these people do say that they don't feel much pressure at all, but they start cutting themselves because they get influenced by people on social media. Okay, we see a lot of things on social media. We see a lot of things on movies about people cutting themselves, and it's an escape. Yes, when we cut ourselves, that hurt, it gives us a sense of reminder that the pain is
You're
real.
alive.
You're alive, correct.
Mm.
But when you're in that moment, when you're cutting yourself, you're only scarring yourself for life. What is that going to do? Okay. So, what I'm saying is, do not look for short term solutions, but rather look for long term gains. Because short term solutions is just going to get you that short term gain. It's not going to solve your problem. One cut become two cuts. One stick become two sticks. 1 ml of alcohol become 5 ml of alcohol. Okay? So, yeah, Dean is covering himself up. That's
Do
how.
not touch the alcohol. So stereotypical, So for those of you, it's like, this guy Indian, screw you.
Which I will get to that later. But now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna share with you strategies that's going to help you in overcoming your anxiety, preserving your mental health, whatever condition that you're in right now, and at the same time, move you towards that long-term gain. So when you are in that state of anxiety, the first thing you need to do is breathe, right?
Yes.
Because if you guys are having anxiety and if you guys are going through that motion, you all would know that the first thing that will happen is your chest gets tight. It feels like someone has just poured hot liquid down your throat, down to your chest, and you can't breathe at all. Sometimes it feels like cold needle prickling your chest and you cannot breathe at all. And this sensation slowly runs down through your gut to your tummy and it tightens your tummy up. Once your tummy has tightened up, that's when you can't breathe, you feel like vomiting. Why? Because lack of oxygen. In severe cases, what happens is you do vomit. The maximum or extreme case is that you vomited so much, you start vomiting blood. So, how are we going to stop this? Breathe. There's no medication that can stop anxiety. Only you can stop anxiety. Antidepressants or drugs will only help you calm your mind. It does not help you with your chest. So, what we can do is we can breathe, inhale, and count in your head for the count to 10. So, as you're inhaling, count from 1 to 10, 10 seconds. And then what you want to do is hold your breath for another 10 seconds. And then, as you are exhaling, count from 1 to 10. And you repeat that process over and over again until you feel that your heart rate has lowered down or you feel calmer and more relaxed. It is going to be a challenge at first, which is why you need to let people know if you're experiencing any anxiety. It doesn't matter whether it's severe or it's small, because if it's small, we can still treat it, we can still focus on it. Once it gets severe, then it's a problem. Okay,
Yes.
so repeat that. Remember, count of 10, inhale, hold for count of 10, and exhale for another count of 10. That will help. So breathing is one. The next thing, once you have already mastered the breathing technique and you are able to calm yourself, this is we're moving on to the next level, which is identifying. A lot of people, they tend to run away, or if you go online and you read online articles or blogs or even on some YouTube channels, they would tell you if you're having anxiety, you would need to distract yourself. Okay? You need to distract yourself by doing this thing, you need to distract yourself by doing that thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, you shouldn't distract yourself. You shouldn't distract yourself because when you are distracting yourself, you are not confronting the problem. So, in order for us to find the solution to your anxiety, we need to find the cause first. Now, identifying the cause will help you solve the problem to your anxiety. You need to identify the trigger. What is the trigger that caused you to have anxiety? Like for Rina's case, it's her friends, right? Or
Yeah.
that person, correct? And for Dean's case, it's lack of love and lack of attention. Have to say it lah.
That sounds so
Right,
wrong.
it's the
Macam
truth.
rasa
No,
sedih.
no, no, no,
Tapi
no.
yeah, that
It's
is
true. It's
right.
true. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Mm.
Nah, I just
So
wanted to give the extra emotion, like Kermit the Frog.
we have to identify these triggers so that
That's
we
true.
know the moment we have a thought about it, then only you can distract yourself by doing something else. Okay, you identify the trigger first. So if it's in your case, is it public pressure? Is it some of your friends? Is it your families constantly pressuring you? So you need to identify the trigger for you to able to conquer it. Yes. The third and final step would be for you to plan. Okay. People say that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, which is true.
Mm.
You've mastered your breathing, you have conquered or understand the trigger to your anxiety, then you need to plan. What is your plan? What's your short-term plan? What's your long-term plan? Short-term plan, what are the things that you're going to do to overcome this? Long-term plan, how are you going to survive this? You need to start asking yourself those questions. Then only you will be able to take control of this issue or the problem that you're having. Now, again, I'm gonna say we are not superheroes. We are not Thor or Captain America that we can get out of our minds. So you need to be able to tell this to someone. If you feel safe with this person, just tell them. Now, I am also going to tell you guys that anxiety and depression is a lifelong thing. You can never run away from it. Okay? It doesn't mean that whatever you're going through right now, you won't be going through in the future. We
Yep.
go through a lot of stages in life. We go through a lot of phases in life. And although these phases are different, may lampu pula.
Aku tak main weh. Malaikat yang main sekarang. Let's go to the
Anyway,
topic.
where was
Anyway.
I? Yes, we go through different phases in life. We go through different stages in life. And it doesn't mean that these different phases or different stages would have different things going on. No. Chances are similar things are going to happen. There will be a point in time in life where you encounter almost similar situations to what you have felt before. And this could be another trigger. So if you go through all those techniques and that strategies, you would be able to master it. Okay?
You'll be more prepared lah.
Yeah. Because we're trying to do is we do not want it to be left unattended. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like an open wound that you just left, that you just leave for it to heal on its own. No, we need to bandage it, we need to gauze it, we need to care for this wound, although it will still hurt along the way, but you're still attending to it. Okay,
That's true.
the next time you're having anxiety, try these techniques. Now, there are people who have tried to take control of whatever it is that they're going through in life, celebrities, most of them. Do you know that Lady Gaga has different stages or different types of anxiety? She's got social anxiety, she's got parental anxiety, she's got so many anxiety that's going on with her that she started singing, that she started producing music because that's a way of escaping. Robin
Expressing.
expressing herself, correct. Robin Williams, the famous comedy, if you guys are familiar with Patch Adams or Jack, what are some of his famous movies? Dean, do you know?
Aladdin. Aladdin.
Aladdin, yes, he's the genie. He's
Aladdin
a
is
genie in
his.
Aladdin. Yes, he's a genie in
Oh.
Aladdin.
See, not many know, okay? I know.
So he uses comedy to actually run away from his pain. He uses comedy to actually escape the triggers of everyday life. Okay, Jim Carrey uses the same thing. So different people got different strategies, but the first thing that you need to do is to be able to control yourself first. Then only you can find different strategies to actually occupy yourselves with and turn it
You need
into
to
something
notify.
positive. Yes,
Right? You
correct.
need to notify yourself on what triggers you, and then only you can actually help yourself. Because what I think is that many people, even though they know what that actually triggers them, they actually hide away from that problem. For example, like you might have the anxiety of being alone, like loneliness, but then you try to hide away from that thing. You're not actually trying to fix it. All you do is just like try to leech on people, and you just like talk. You try to make as much friends, no matter how bad or good they are. You just try to go and say, you just like put yourself towards people and just say, hey, you want to be my friend? Hey, come here lah, we be friends. Then no matter what they treat you, you think it's good because in your mind you can't be lonely. But in the end, you're just hiding away from the problem that you actually left, thinking that that's the medicine for you.
Now, talking about anxiety, there's different types of anxiety, but the two most common ones, which I would like to highlight here, would be intrinsic and anxiousness and extrinsic anxiousness. Intrinsic would be things that you tell yourself that causes you to have anxiety. It would be things like, I'm not good enough. Why are people looking at me like that? Is it true what this person is saying about me? I'm stupid. I'm lonely. And extrinsic would be the things that people do tell you, and you go on social media, you see people commenting on the picture that you just posted on Instagram. Why are you posing like that? Why are you wearing this color? Why do you look so ugly? Right? Because people have the freedom of speech and they can say whatever they want. You need to be able to select which one you want to believe and which one you don't, which falls back to our first discussion earlier, knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, you won't fall into that trap. You won't fall into that hole,
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
pit hole where people will say a lot of things and you
A
start
lot of
believing.
negative things.
Yes,
Again,
right?
judgment.
Again, judgment. So there's a lot of things that you need to consider here. You need to consider your friends, you need to consider the people that you mix around with, and you do need to consider yourself first of all. That's the most important part.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. Because I feel like in the process of them trying to like hide away from the anxiety and them trying to build themselves up, all they just take whatever people say and just like, are they right? Like, am I not worth? Am I useless? Is myself then the suicide comes in when they start thinking that I think my life is not even worth living,
Yeah.
right? Because the anxiety keeps hitting in and depression comes in. And because, for example, like I've met a friend and she's a very good friend. I won't say who, but you already get she's a female. So like
Woo,
she
woo,
went through a lot.
woo.
This person went through a lot in her life. Person went through in her life a lot, like a lot of uh abusive past lah, abusive and traumatic
Mhm.
past. And she told me that she like fixed the date that she wanted to suicide on that day. I keep telling her why. I keep asking her why because at that point I didn't understand why. But I gotta tell you guys one thing, that if you're gonna listen to someone or you're gonna like base your life based on your past, no matter how traumatic it is, yes, we understand it is traumatic for yourself, but don't base your life based on that traumatic experience and what people tell you.
Mhm.
People tell you that you're useless because they think you're useless, but what do you think about yourself? Because in the end, your life is not worth, because even though you think you're actually taking your life with the knife or whatever, it's not your hands taking your life, it's other people taking your own life in the end. Because you're just listening to them, whatever thought, like whatever conversations that are happening, they're giving you is just in your head telling that you're useless. But in the end, you do not think you're useless. It's whatever they influence you or whatever your
You
traumatic
know who
past,
you are, lah.
you know who you are. So don't think that your traumatic experience, yes, it is painful. A traumatic past is very painful. Yes, we understand that. But don't base your life based on that traumatic past, because in the end, there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of things in the future, a lot of things in your
Try
present.
to change your future to
Yeah.
become better.
That doesn't mean if like you're actually behaving like this, doesn't mean you're gonna behave like how you are in
That
the future.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't mean like you're living in like a bad lifestyle. Doesn't mean you're gonna stay in there forever. It's just how you're gonna take yourself out of that bad lifestyle. Because you're just gonna
Yeah.
be stuck in the end. You're just hiding away from that. You're just pushing yourself away, giving yourself reasons, saying that if I took myself out, it'll be better. But in the end, how sure are you it's gonna be better? You understand? How sure are you it's gonna be better? You're telling yourself you are not loved, but how sure are you people are not loving you? How sure are you there are people like friends or
You
family
don't
members?
know people's heart,
Yeah, yeah.
especially
There
your
are.
parents.
I agree. Like I agree, there are people out there who do not care about you, who do not give sorry for saying a crap about you. People who will judge you no matter what. But in the end, there are people who actually care about you. If you think about it,
Maybe
people,
more people.
yeah, people who actually care about you, people who want to talk to you, people who want to mix with you, people who want to vibe with you, right? So don't take your life based on other people who just hates you. Because for me, those people are just a speck of life, a speck of your problem. They're just a speck, like a tiny speck, like a microorganism macam tu. You just gotta throw them away. That's all you gotta do. All the
Or
thought, all the conversations, buang je.
or if you can think of, like, for example, you have 10 people in your life, then 99% is the people who loves you, but this 1%, maybe the person doesn't like you because of your character or your personality, then let it be. because this 99% of people that you know loves you, and that is all it matters. Okay, don't see
And
the
don't
1%, don't see the minor, see the
yeah, exactly.
majority.
And don't put your mentality, and I understand that sometimes, because I also went through the phase where I do not want to trust anybody, or I feel like everybody that I talk to are
Everyone,
just going to judge me.
everyone has faced that.
Okay, listen here. People have their own choices, as we said before. But in the end, your feelings, your emotion, your personality is based on you and yourself.
Mm.
So the choices that you make are for yourself. Don't listen to what other people tell you. If other people tell you you're useless, you tell yourself you are better. If other people tell you you're not worth, you tell yourself you are worth, because it's your life. Coach Kamal told me this told us this during our training. See, now I give you credit. So basically, it's like
Marah pula.
emotional. So basically, turn on the light. So basically, your God basically give you a book now, and that book you have to write your story. But eventually in life, when you're actually writing through, when you're young, when you're going through your secondary, confirm there are people who try to take the book away from you and write your story. What you're supposed to do is take that damn book back and write your story, how you want your story to
Ah,
go.
okay, now I remember. Okay.
You understand or not? Yeah. So
Coach,
basically, you got a lot of people to advise lah. So basically, do not let these people to judge you. Do not let your traumatic past, your abusive parents, your abusive friendship, abusive relationship take your choices, because your choices are for yourself. And don't ever try to abuse yourself, try to just like take your life based on what they tell you, right? And I know there's a lot of voices in your head, a lot of voices telling you do this, you're not worth. But you tell yourself, you tell those voices, my life is worth something, and I'll find that something. You give yourself a purpose. And when you give yourself that purpose, you can basically start thinking, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to find myself. You understand? That's all you got to do.
there is a reason why God created you. Okay,
Mm.
if you want to end your life because you think you are alive with no reason, then you are denying like why God created you and things like
Mm.
that. So remember that God created you because you have a purpose. Okay, you have your own purpose. So
Find that
yeah.
purpose. Yeah. Anything on your side, coach?
Purpose is important. Planning is also important. I would also like to touch on the part where Dean said that you've got to take your book back and write your own story, because by the end of the day, it is your own story, right? Now, what's the difference between people who are able to accept what other people say about them and people who cannot accept what other people say about them? The difference between these two is very simple. The people who can accept are the people who are on purpose. They know what's their goal in life. They're going to go out there, they're going to achieve it. So they're going to take the good and the bad and whatever experiences that they are going through right now, and they're going to learn from it. Okay, those people who can't accept are the people who don't really know their purpose, or their purpose is still hazy. They don't really know yet. So until you know your purpose, you will never be able to accept what other people say, which is what they're trying to say, I think. Yes, right? Yeah.
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 And I also like to add that research shows on Google that in 24 hours a day, at least 60,000 thoughts are going through our mind every day, which means 24 hours, there's 60,000 thoughts going through our mind, and 80% of it are
That's true.
negative thoughts.
Then
Out
Actually,
of
that's true.
60,000, 80% of it are negatives. So, in how do we switch from negative to positive? By accepting, by accepting,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
by going on purpose. That's the only way we can do it, because we live in such negative times. Yep,
that's true.
that's my 2 cents in it.
Agreed.
I think we had discussed all the topic that we need to discuss. and like strategies and stuff to help you guys out who
Yes, sir.
have or had experienced this type of mental illness. I mean, it's not wrong. Okay, it's not wrong having this mental illness. So
Yeah.
if you need any help or need to share your stories with, then you can contact us. Not contact like hello, not that. I mean, you can get
You
help
can call
from
me.
us. You can get help from us by sending a message at gethelp at coachkamalamzan.com, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And then we will reply from there and give you guys suggestion and yeah.
Basically, we will try to help you all
Yes.
all the best we can, because we are trying to make the world a better place. And if you can, if you're actually listening this, if you are actually having an open mind and you feel like you want to help people, go ahead, help people. We are trying to share positivity. We're not going to take all the positivity to ourselves.
Yes.
Share it. Share whatever you feel like you can help. If you think you can help that someone, go ahead. Don't hold back. Don't keep that close-minded sense saying that if I help this person, will I get anything? No. Go ahead. Help that person. You dapat
But if
pahala
you
ke, aku tak
but
kisah.
if
You just
you
help.
don't know how to help that person, your
Hmm.
close friend, whatever, then you can try getting some tips from us on
Hmm.
how that person can be a better not be a better person, like their mental health could be better.
Hmm. Yep.
You can just hit us up and we could help you out, inshallah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything, Coach
Okay.
Kamal?
Now, to all of you at home, again, we're always here to help. We're always around. If you need someone to talk to, we're always here. We'd just like to say that no matter what you're going through, no matter what condition you're in, you are not alone. You are never alone. Okay? The good days you have, it gives you happiness. The bad days you get, it gives you an experience. The worst days of your
Yes.
lives gives you a lesson. And the best
Hmm.
days you experience, those are the ones we call memories. So we want to create memories. Do more of that.
I think we can close this second podcast of ours. Any last words mean for our second podcast?
Any last words?
It sounds so wrong, but I don't know how to
Yeah.
structure it, you
So
know?
before we end our second
Tak apa, boleh
podcast, like what
potong
Coach
part ni
Kamal
semua,
said.
boleh potong.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. So before we end our second podcast, the thing that Coach Kamal said is totally true. Embrace your mistakes. Don't think that your mistakes are wrong. Take it as a lesson, so that because experience brings knowledge. That's the truth about making mistakes. Experience makes knowledge. So when you actually make those mistakes and you're going through that something, you can actually gain the knowledge of how to help yourself. All right. So don't think that negativity can only stay as negativity, because negative can always turn to positive. Ha, you see what I did there? Oh.
Okay,
All right.
let's end this, shall we?
Shall we?
All right.
All right. So thank you everyone for listening and tuning into our podcast. We will catch you guys next time.
Yes, at our third podcast. Stay tuned.
Bye bye.
Woo!
See you guys.
Bye bye. Have a great
Oh.
day.